rights activist. He brings a conservative point of view to black issues. His mission: to provide a forum for honest discussions about social issues without the liberal lapdogs shutting down the discussion. Broadcasting from the American Truth Project studios in beautiful Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. This is Conservative Nation with your host, Jermain Botsio.
Hello. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Conservative Nation. With me, your gracious host, Jermain Botsio. And on today's show, you guys know what the deal is. Double Barrel J's Wednesdays, and I got the one, the only, mind of Jamal. How are you doing, brother?
Let's get ready to fight.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys go ahead and grab your drink. We're going to have a good time tonight. Absolutely. You seen the title, right? Absolutely. Who needs enemies when you have a baby mama? On my mama. On my mama. Yeah, on my mama. Who needs who needs an enemy when you got a baby mama? Ask the gentlemen out there. Some of them got baby mamas, ex-wives. Right? Aren't they your biggest enemy? They know everything about you. They know where all the bodies are buried, don't they? Some of them don't. Some of them just want to screw you up. But a lot of them do. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is an endorsement for them. I just want to say this. Tonight I've been drinking. We drinking Christian Brothers. All right. Just want to let folks know. All right. It's a very smooth brand. It has honey in it. All right. So this is our drink for tonight. All right. If you got a nice drink, you go ahead and pour up a little bit. I had to put it in my nice cognac glass. And I like it on the rocks. You know, I'm like my father. My father's African. He like everything hard. Oh, my mama. Yeah, he does. So, you know, it's on the rocks. But besides that, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. We have an awesome lineup for you guys. Very good lineup. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. Well, we're going to be mostly laughing. All right, yeah, we're going to be mostly laughing. And we're going to have a good time. So make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share. Brother, let me tell you something. Here in Minnesota, it is a firestorm. The fire hasn't gone out. As a matter of fact, it seems to be going harder and harder right now. We have so many folks who are importing into Minnesota, and they're coming from everywhere. I'm telling you, even the aliens are coming down from space. Yeah, and they're hanging out with the Muslims and stuff like that, you know, and ICE is trying to talk to them so that they can use some of them space lasers. So we shall see. You know what I'm saying? We shall see. What is it in your neck of the woods? Is it real nice? I know it's cold here, but is it nice in your neck of the woods?
Well, I like the cold because being a country boy, one thing I know, the colder it is, the ground freezes. The ground freezes, it kills the mosquito eggs. See, I want the mosquito eggs dead. The ticks eggs
them mosquitoes.
Dead. See, I want all those larvae to die so they won't be able to come bite me come spring and summertime when I'm out there working outside sweating. So it's gonna be pretty good. It's good. I hope we get 3 foot of snow down here. That's what I hope we get.
I'm telling you, one thing I hate is the skeeters. I absolutely hate them. I got a skeeter fogger on the property. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I run with the skeeter fogger and I hit all the bushes. I hit up everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I usually got a full outfit on. You know, the only black man in town. Walking around looking like I'm coming from a zombie movie. But them skeeters ain't in my property, I can tell you that. But besides that, brother, let's go ahead and get rocking. Ladies and gentlemen, please, oh please, hit that like button. Make sure you do share. You guys may see a new thing on your screen here. It says support the show. We're going to have a weekly goal. Absolutely. The weekly goal is to help support the show. And it's to help, put out this I have some stuff going on here that I'm trying to ingratiate you guys with. It is basically already ready, but I haven't been online for a while. And I want to make sure that, the testing is done with it before I put it out and before, folks, run their mouth and tell me it's not working well. It's an app that we've been working on for a while. I've had some issues. I've got into an accident, this, that, and the third. But, it's already built. It's done. We're just doing some testing on it, make sure that it's working well. Even right now, we're streaming on it, and we're trying to make sure it's working well. So we need your guys' help so that we can push the show. We can reach folks that are twisting in the wind. And one thing I can tell you is that I'm going to put my all into it. If you've been following me for a while. I've been running this show for about 8 years. Very long time. I've been with Jamal for years.
Oh, yeah.
So
Since what,
I'm not going anywhere. Even when I got hit on my motorcycle and I accumulated a whole bunch of cash, I could have, as Jamal, I could have just been sleeping all day. I already make good money doing the work I was doing. Right? And then God, changed my life, and all of a sudden I'm a young retired person. So I could just sit back and just watch news all day and eat chicken. That's what I like to do, right? And drink this. I can do it. For real. I got the bread to do it. Yeah, ask my mama. I ain't playing. But I need to do what's right. I've been doing this for a while. I have a message that I want to reach folks because I care. I served our country. Yeah, I cared. I went to college, and when I got out, I could have just went and worked. I didn't do it. I went to go serve our country. So my heart is into serving, and I want to make sure that I'm able to do it. So I'm just asking for your support. That's all. I'm not asking for you to break your bank, but I'm asking for a little bit of chips. Help a brother out. All right.
Oh wow! How did you do that? I like
Absolutely.
that. A week ago. That's nice.
Yeah. I
like that.
So that's what it is, you guys. With that being said, let's get rocking. Let's get flaming. Yeah, I told you my voice came back. I can hit that high note. You know what I'm saying? My brother can't do it. Yeah, everybody in my family can't hit that high note. I'm like Michael Jackson in my family. I can play the piano and I can hit that high note. Absolutely, but I can't sing. But you give me a good keyboard, on my mama, I can play. Yeah, absolutely. Something that you guys didn't know. Let's go ahead and get rocking. First one up, I want to go ahead and speak to you guys about Joe Stinking Rogan. I'm getting tired of him right now. I believe Joe Rogan says whatever is, politically expedient. I don't think he believes a lot of the stuff he says. Because to me, you have to have some sort of sense. Now, Jamal says he don't play any of his clips and stuff like that. I support Jamal in that. You know what I'm saying? I do. But sometimes I like to show when, the popular folks in the media who are stupid. And sometimes he come off like he has sense. And a lot of times he come off like he's dumb. Something going on. I want to go ahead and run this. When it come back, I want to speak to you guys about it. Joe Rogan is back at it again. He is saying that Donald Trump's ICE looks like murderous military people. They look like murderous thugs. This is what he's saying. I want you guys to listen to him. When it come back, I want to get your guys' take on it. Make sure you guys hit that like button and make sure y'all share. Here we go. And if you can, throw some chips in the bucket. Help a brother out. Here we go.
That woman was shot. I think, unfortunately, well, everything's unfortunate about it, right? But one of the real problems is now ICE are villains, and now people are looking at them like murderous military people that are on the streets of our city, and they're masked up, which is also a problem, right? Because if you get arrested by a cop, you're allowed to ask the cop, what is your name and badge number? And you could film that cop. If you get arrested by an ICE agent, you have no such right. They're wearing a mask. They don't have to tell you shit. That's a problem. That's a problem on our city streets, right? Because you could also pretend to be an ICE agent. Right. So I saw this terrible story about this family that was killed where these guys pretended to be a UPS driver, and they showed up and they made their way into the house and killed people because they were dressed up as a UPS driver. If you could pretend to be a UPS driver, for sure you could pretend to be an ICE agent, especially since they're completely anonymous. So think about how many people can get arrested or robbed or by criminals.
This makes no sense.
Right? Because you could just have people pretending they're like, it's not like it's impossible to fake their logo, right? It's pretty easy. It just says ICE. You know, how hard is that? You could easily imagine armed gangs pretending to be ICE agents robbing people.
Wow. So there you go. Joe Rogan is back at it again. He's saying that there's really no accountability for ICE. He's saying that, hey, at least the police, they have accountability. They have, a badge. They have a badge number. You can go online. You can watch the police. They have that type of accountability. He's saying that ICE officials, they don't have accountability. A lot of the times you don't know who they are. This is what they're saying, what he's saying. Brother, what do you think about this?
Joe Rogan has always been a Democrat. He's always been a liberal, but Democrats have went too far to the left. Remember this, people, and I always say, and Jermain, people have to know this. When liberal Democrats said, thought I was about to sneeze. When liberal Democrats said they didn't change, the party went to the left of them. When they say stuff like that, they letting you know they didn't change their liberal ideology. They voted for Trump because the party went a little too left. And I don't know if he voted for Trump. I don't know if he supported him. But for him to act like and say, well, they're running around maxed up, why? Why are they masked up?
Yep.
Because you have liberal Democrat states that are allowing, you have the DOJ allowing liberal Democrat states to run amok because they're scared of the next election. I'm so sick and tired. When Democrats win the election, they don't worry about the next election. They win elections to push their agenda as hard as they can until the midterms. If they win, they win. Oh well. When Republicans do it, when Republicans win, we spend our whole time worrying about the midterm election that's sometimes not even the next year.
Yeah.
They are they were worried about midterm elections August of last year. And Democrats and the media play this. Joe Rogan played this crap. Republicans should not be worried about the midterm elections. Republicans should be worried about pushing the agenda now.
There you go.
Push
Absolutely.
the agenda now. Every last, like right now, they're investigating their subpoenaed the Minnesota governor and all them people. They should be locked up.
All the criminals.
There shouldn't be any subpoenas. They should be locked up. And anybody out there, if you're going to protest ICE, fine. But when the first car that hit them, they should have lit them up with so many rounds. That's what I said last year in July when they started this stuff. I said they should have sat there and start opening fire. I said it last year, and now it has gotten worse. You can't beat a child at 12 for what it was doing at 4 when they started.
Yeah.
You whoop a child at 2, so when the child get 4, they know, and when the child get 12, they won't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me tell you, that was fire. You're absolutely correct. You know, it's right now and let me go ahead and pull this up here. It is incumbent on the Republicans to find a way for them to have the balls to push the campaign, just like it said. and push the message. They're too worried about the midterms that are next year and things of this nature. And it's too far out. And most of the time, they're not on message. And it leaves them to look like, let's be honest, it makes them look like pussycats. These folks are not serious about winning elections. Jamal, I don't think Republicans are serious about winning elections.
We're not. I'm sorry, we're not, Jermain. I'm sorry, we're not. What Republicans want to do is get the position and then worry and hide to keep the position doing the amount of work. That's why they hate Donald Trump, because Donald Trump forces them to work and take a stance, go out there and do something.
Yeah. Donald Trump forces them to work, and they don't like that. They don't like that. And I believe some of them, either they're doing it intentionally, where they ain't trying to, work as hard, or, that's just who they are. But we need a new class of Republicans who actually understand what's going on and really want to win. And that's my problem with a lot of Republicans out there. The old class of Republicans, it seems like they just don't want to win. This should be a campaign that they push to death right now. They can win if they just capitalize on what's going on and push the right message. That's it. That is it. Donald Trump has showed them the way, but yet they're still twisted in the wind and they can't figure out what's going on. Now, when it comes to Joe Rogan, I'm so sick and tired of folks like him. He is into what's politically expedient.
Yes.
He's not into, what's real. And I want folks to understand it. If he was honest in what's real, he would say, well, I understand that it makes the ICE folks look bad, but guess what? It's a job that they have to do. Jamal, this is a job that's not pretty. You get what I'm saying? It's not a pretty job. Jamal, me and you both have young children. When your children were younger, Jamal, and they didn't want to leave a room, didn't they put up a fit? Didn't they throw a tantrum?
No, because I start beating my kids at 2 when I say you do something, that's what you do. See,
you a good dad, but the normal. What I'm saying here is that the normal child, a lot of times when they haven't, have that many years on earth and they haven't been trained well, a lot of young children, when they're told to leave and to do stuff that they don't want to do, they throw a tantrum. And that's the same exact thing that I look at these fools on the street. They are told to leave, they are told to move, and they don't want to do it. So guess what? There's parents there, and they're called ICE, and they gonna move ya. And they gonna move you either by force or by your own volition. But please believe you're gonna move. Now, moving forward here, I want to go ahead here and show you guys this. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. Federal prosecutors subpoena 5 Minnesota politicians. All right? Minnesota officials. I want you guys to take a look at this. Make sure you share.
Attorney General Pam Bondi making an unexpected trip to Minnesota tonight, sending a warning to the state's top leaders.
Whether it's a public official, whether it's a law enforcement officer, no one is above the law in this state or in this country, and people will be held accountable.
Her warning coming on the same day that we learned the Justice Department has sent subpoenas to at least 5 more top officials across Minnesota. So that now includes the Governor, Tim Walz, the Attorney General, Keith Ellison, the Minneapolis Mayor, Jacob Frey, and the St. Paul Mayor, Khalid Harrer, who I will speak to in just a moment. All part of the DOJ probe into whether the officials obstructed ICE efforts in the state. Governor Walz wasting no time firing back to the DOJ, saying, quote, Minnesota will not be intimidated into silence, and neither will I. Now the St. Paul mayor is out front. And Mayor, I appreciate your time. So I guess just to start with this subpoena, I don't know if you thought maybe you wouldn't be on that list, but here you are. You're now on it. What are you being asked for by the DOJ? Have they said anything about the possible charges that you might be facing?
They shouldn't be.
Well, and there's more that's going to be coming out about the subpoena, but for right now, we know that Trump promised retribution, and consistent with that, we were served a subpoena today, but we remain committed to our residents and to our communities and neighbors and protecting them.
So Attorney General Pam Bondi was in your state today, unexpected, incredibly rare, and she showed up today. Do you know why she did that today? Was there anything that you're hearing? What's your interpretation of this?
You know, I haven't heard specifically as to the reason why she's here, but it's pretty clear that this administration is sending people in to intimidate us, and we will not be intimidated, as the governor said.
So one of the looming DOJ cases, such that we understand it specifically, seems to be about the protesters who rushed into that church. That was in your city, in St. Paul, on Sunday. They interrupted a service. They said they were there to protest a pastor there who's also a local ICE official. The Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says whatever it was anti-Christian and it was a crime. Mayor, I'm curious how you see this. Do you think that some of those protesters may have gone beyond their First Amendment rights in going into a church like that and broke the law?
I will say that ICE has led the way in their charge of going onto school properties and detaining people from places that should be just as well kept sacred. And so, we responded the exact same way we would have at any place of worship. That our PD came in, and because this is an ongoing investigation, I can't comment more than that. But I would say we would have handled this in any other way, in any other place of worship, the same way.
So I understand what you're saying. Just to be clear, though, at the beginning you were saying, well, they go into schools and sacred places. I mean, is this sort of a situation where if they're doing it, it's okay then if protesters are doing it, as you see it?
I don't ever believe that it is okay for us to cross the line in which there are spaces in which people have certain rights and freedoms. But I will say that if this government wants us to obey rule of law, that they also need to follow that as well. And that they cannot expect residents who are feeling terrorized and sieged to be operating under any different circumstances or any different rules than they are operating in.
She is
So President Trump today was asked then about what ICE is doing.
This woman here, this is what you call a straight up communist. I don't care who get mad. This is a straight up communist right here.
Chacon.
I want to go ahead here and give a shout out to somebody who just donated. I want to give a shout out to, this is Kwaku, my cousin. He says, flame on, flame out. Gave a $10 donation on PayPal. Shout out to him. Yeah, I think this woman crazy. She's not thinking well. Let me go ahead and give you the customary. It's quite cool. You want the customary. There you go. There you go, quite cool. You got the customaries, brother. Yeah. He said he want the clap. He sent him.
He deserve it. He like daggone guess.
Yeah, he said everybody else get the clapping. What about me? You got the clapping, brother.
Right.
This woman here, she's giving talking points, and you can tell. Can't you, ladies and gentlemen? You can tell. She's giving talking points. She's not very talkative. She only says certain things. Throughout this whole interview, you can tell they gave her a sheet. Yeah, they gave her a sheet. Now, Jamal, what do you think about this here? They're saying it's up to 10 Minnesota officials who have been subpoenaed with the ICE impeding investigation and things of this nature. What do you think?
I think they're going to do absolutely nothing. I'm just going to want to say it.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right.
Because of this. Jermain, I sit here and I ask, they should have been arrested long time ago. They spend too much time, Pam Bondi, worry how is it gonna look when she go on Sean Hannity, how's she gonna look when she go on these shows, instead of getting on the shows doing what need to be done. I'm so sick and tired of this. We are watching some of the most talk about but do nothing. They want to get in the front of the camera and show you this hand, but this is the hand you need to see. She could have went in there and charged Don Lemon and every last one of them with the FACE Act. She could have did it, regardless if it's the courts. And then guess what? Drag them into that court, fly them out to another state, and say until this goes to the Supreme Court, we're going to have a change of venue out of Minnesota. That's what Joe Biden would have did. Joe Biden ruined people. Joe Biden ruined people. The Department of Justice ruined Michael Flynn. Notice Joe Biden enemies say what you want, but during the Joe Biden presidency, how many people were locked up for protesting?
Zero.
On the Joe Biden administration, how many people was locked up protesting abortion clinics? You had people locked up. How many people was locked up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Transgenders in the bathrooms and in Virginia locked up. How many parents was thrown on the ground and locked up because his child was raped by a tranny?
Yeah.
So they're willing to do that on their side, but on our side, we got these stupid Constitution. We're better than that. We're Republicans. We're better than that. We're better than that. Dun, 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 dun. And that's what you see. You see those Republicans that do that. That's why I can't stand them. That's why I can't stand the people that come to my page, and that's why I throw them off. If we be like the liberal left, we're no better than them. They like to get beat and kicked upon because it make them feel morally superior because they got a weakness within themselves.
Yeah, so they got a weakness in themselves. You're absolutely correct. And I want to go ahead here. Somebody just donated. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Patricia Roma. Shout out to you. Donated on Cash App. Shout out to her. And she says best wishes. Let's go ahead and give her the custom. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Certainly do. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Ain't this wild? These folks here, and I do agree with Jamal here. I do. I don't think too much is going to happen with this. And the reason why I say this is because too many folks are involved. Too many high-profile folks are involved. And I doubt it's just these folks in this state. I doubt it. This scheme, this fraud scheme, and what they are doing is illegal through and through. But because of how it looks and how the constituents receives what's going on, I don't believe the Republicans will push for these folks to go to jail or be sanctioned or fined. I don't think they'll do it. And one of the reasons is because of what Jamal said. A lot of these old rhino Republicans, they want to basically feel morally superior. They want a virtue signal. And that type of thought process doesn't get you anywhere. I even believe that thought process was put into place so that Republicans don't fight. I think it's a psychological, program that was put on most folks. When you speak to people like Lindsey Graham, right, Chuck Grassley, these folks think like that. And a lot of the times, ladies and gentlemen, the thinking like that is because they got too much. Hold on. They got too much money. Too much money and not enough sense. And that's what's going on. That's why it's very important that we need to push for term limits in Congress, so that these folks can't sit there and enrich themselves and not do the job that we need them to do. And that's one of the biggest problems when it comes to the Republican base. Old, and some folks gonna get upset about it.
Cowardly.
Old, too white. Not enough diversity, and not enough diversity in thinking as well. Hold on. Yeah, and I'm a conservative. There's not enough diversity in thinking. You know, before me and Jamal got into this business here, the Republicans weren't even speaking about how the history of Republicanism is good for black folks. They never spoke about it. Jamal, did they ever speak about the history of Republicanism and how it benefited black folks?
You know what?
Before the black influencers started coming out, I've never heard it.
They would talk every year. They would start talking about, remember, we helped free the slaves. We helped free the slaves. We helped free the slaves. That's what they kept talking about. But they will only talk about it every now and then. Black influencers came in and challenged, not just challenged, but really challenged. And other white influencers was doing it because you had Rush Limbaugh. Because
Rush Limbaugh did, but besides him, they didn't really like him like that. But
what Rush Limbaugh could do was Rush Limbaugh encouraged whites to engage black liberals.
Yeah.
And embarrass black liberals, because many black liberals got embarrassed engaging with, at one time, whites weren't this scary. And I want to, before I go any further, Jermaine, I would like to thank John Lennon. John Lennon, thank you for your kindness and
John Lennon, Brother John.
Yes, thank you for your kindness and generosity and donation to the page through PayPal. Thank you for your kindness and generosity and donation through PayPal. So, but Jermaine, like I was saying before, Pam Bondi should have been locked up certain people. Even if you don't win in battle, even if you didn't win in court, they had to know that they were getting locked up. Literally, there should have been people in handcuffs walking out about what happened at that church. When they start looking at all that Somali fraud coming in, there should have been immediately somebody from that office should be locked up. And then she should sit here and have it declared, hey, this state is so corrupted that we cannot have a trial, and make the Supreme Court say you can move change a venue to another state, move it to a state like Indiana, move it to a state like North Dakota, South Dakota. Humiliate the state of Minnesota and make it be known.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that they can if they do the right thing. And that's just my issue with it, Jamal. I don't believe that these folks, will have the balls to do it. They don't. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to John Lennon. John Lennon, we just gave you a shout out, but I want to also read what you sent here, brother. It says the protesters mostly are pros sent in from out of state. Absolutely. They absolutely are. They're imported from other states. I said they come from the gosh darn space. They come down there and they're over there causing mischief. They're breaking into stores, doing crime. They're not doing the right thing at all. They're not. And I wish that the politicians in Minneapolis, the Minneapolis City Council, they'll make it so that, they'll cease protesting. They'll cut out that ordinance right now. But I don't think they are. I don't think they are at all. Now,
because they're
moving
part
forward,
of it.
Go ahead, brother.
The Minnesota, they're not going to stop them because that's what they want to do.
They need them.
They want these protests because they don't like Trump. The media is literally covering up. All we heard was January 6th during Joe Biden's presidency. January 6th, all the evils of January 6th. You got ICE literally locking up sex offenders, and nobody's from CNN, MSNBC doing that. And the people who are in Minnesota aren't being questioned. Why are you defending sex offenders? And why are y'all covering for them? The people in Minnesota is using the fraud money to bring in these protesters.
Absolutely. It's funding their whole organization. And this whole fraud thing, I believe, is funding the national DNC. That's why they're fighting so hard. They need the protesters there. They need the crime there so that they make it so untenable for Trump and the ICE folks that they leave. And I want folks to understand it there. That's why they're sending so many influencers there, right? The liberal influencers outweigh the Republican ones, the conservative ones. There are many more liberal influencers than the good folks. And I want folks to understand that there. They're doing it on purpose. It's a coordinated message to make it look like ICE is the bad folks. These people need to be stopped. Moving forward now, I want to go ahead and show you guys this. And make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you're sharing if you can. Help us out. Throw some chips in the bucket. Help us reach our weekly goal. Trump sends a heartfelt message. We'll see how heartfelt it is. To a heartbroken father of Renee Good. All right? I want to go ahead and run this. When it come back, I want to get you guys' take on this. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Help us out. Let's keep on flaming. Here we go.
The death of Renee Nicole Good. I've been speaking to her father, who is a big supporter of yours, like many Americans are. But he's heartbroken right now. I
can understand that.
He's heartbroken because his daughter is dead. That's obvious. He's also heartbroken because your administration so quickly has come out and said she's a domestic terrorist. What do you want to say to her father right now?
Well, I want to say to the father that I love all of our people. They can be on the other side. As you say, he might be on my side.
He is on your side.
And I think that's great. And I do. I think it's great. And I would bet you that she, under normal circumstances, was a very solid, wonderful person. But her actions were pretty tough. I mean, I've seen it many ways and many different shapes and forms. But the bottom line is, look, we have hundreds of thousands of murderers in our country, killers. ICE is trying to get them out. They were let in through an open border policy of sleepy Joe Biden. ICE is working very hard to get them out. their job is being made very, very difficult. And, when you look at that tape, it can be viewed two ways, I guess. But when you look at the way that car was pulled away, there are a couple of versions of that tape that are very, very bad.
Out front now, Renee Good's former father-in-law, Timmy Macklin, and he is the grandfather of Good's 6-year-old son, that little boy. And Timmy, we're really appreciative that you are willing to speak out. And I know you want to talk about Renee. Your son was married to her before he died in 2023. And now there has been this horrible tragedy for Renee, and of course your grandson now has lost both his biological parents. You just heard the president speak about your former daughter-in-law. What's your reaction?
Well, I'm a Trump supporter also, and Renee was an amazing person. I mean, she full of life, full of joy. I mean, real gentle, a good mother. I just think
how much
we
of
make
a
bad
good
choices.
mother you
And,
are if you're out there protesting.
That's the problem. There's so much chaos in the whole world today. And that's why the Bible says, if my people would humble themselves and seek his face and pray and turn from our wicked ways, God will hear from heaven and forgive our sins and heal our lands. And that's what we need to do. We need to turn to God and walk in the Spirit of God and let him lead us and guide us.
So we have some news.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I am sorry for your loss, because for your loss for you, it's your
if she was
grandson
so amazing,
who
why
will
did
suffer
she
so
leave
greatly, and
your
you have suffered the loss
son?
of your own son so tragically as well.
I don't
her
think she
former
was
husband.
Um,
that amazing.
Your grandson's 6 years old. Have you been able to see him or talk to him since all of this has happened?
Not since it's happened. I've been blessed to see him, 2 or 3 times a year. He's an amazing young child. I mean, he's amazing. He's really smart, and so I look forward to seeing him when I can.
I want to ask you about this. When you talk about the confusion, and you've been open, obviously, about your support for the president, when you look at the videos of what happened, and I'm sure they're very hard for you, Timmy, to watch if you've even been able to, but the Deputy Attorney General says that the Justice Department doesn't believe that there's evidence to back a criminal investigation, right? And nothing about charges or anything like that, just an investigation into what happened in terms of the ICE agents' actions. But they were, according to the prosecutors resigning today, pressuring them to investigate Renee's actions and Becca, her wife's actions. How do you feel about all that?
Well, I'm not blaming anybody. I mean, it's a hard situation all the way around. It's hard for for everybody involved. I mean, the ICE agent, at first I didn't see the footage where, he was actually, he was actually being ran. I mean, I seen the bump of the car hitting his legs. And so in a flash like that, it's hard to say how you would react. From my understanding that he had been through that before, maybe dragged or something. And so, like I said, it's just a hard situation for everybody.
Shout out to the father, the ex-father-in-law. He says that Renee Good was a good woman and this, that, and the third. I understand you gotta say something nice to the dead. I understand that. Brother Jermain gonna speak on it though here in a quick second. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to somebody who just donated. I seen the ticker here. Kel Bella 823 donated 10 on Rumble. Says flaming with the double J's on hump day. Fire! Absolutely. Let me go ahead and give you the customary. Absolutely. Now, getting back to it. Renee Good, he said, she was such a sweetheart, this, that, and the third. I don't think she was such a sweetheart. I don't. A woman who divorces 2 men and shacks up with a woman and protesting and who is swearing and saying obscenities to cops. I don't think that's a good woman. Now, you can get mad at me all you want. You can. What good woman is at a protest and not caring about her children? Tell me. This stuff doesn't affect her. It doesn't affect her children. Why is she out there risking her life if she's the only parent? Ladies and gentlemen. Now, before I let Jamal answer what he thinks, I went and put a statement on my Facebook page there, and I put, if Renee Good had a husband, she would have been alive. And guess what? Folks were, oh yeah, the feminists usually come after me. Feminists always think that what I say is somehow sexist, which I really don't care. You know, it's the truth. I really do believe it. Because men were protectors. Okay? There's no man, good man, who's going to allow his wife, the mother of his children, to be on the street with and verbally assaulting and her engaging with police officers in this way, ICE agents in this way. No good husband will do that. But if you're married to another woman who is hard-headed, and most women in this day and age are hard-headed, the ones that are 35 and below, there's something wrong with them. They're going to do this. Jamal, what do you think?
Well, since you asked me, number one, I think he threw a bone to President Trump. When he sat there and said he don't blame nobody, honestly, what he was saying, he thought it was her dumb fault anyway. And it wasn't her father. That's her father-in-law. That's her dead husband's father. Okay?
Dead husband, daddy.
Okay? So, he probably knew how stupid and crazy she was. She lost custody of her children.
Yep.
So, she's not a good woman. This is George Floyd. And Jermain, if you can just let me show you this real quick.
Go
Jermain,
ahead, bro.
I want to just bring this up, but I'm going to turn the volume off because it has music in. And you know,
oh yeah. I was cut a little bit yesterday. Let's not do it.
So I'm just gonna show you the video. I'm gonna take the volume out. And when it comes to this is where is you at? This is what I think of the whole thing when it comes to Miss Good, and because they're trying to make her the white George Floyd. That's what they're doing. The same way they covered up George Floyd and the stuff George Floyd had done, the same thing they're doing with her. This woman, oh man, I done misplaced the video. I don't know where it's at. But what it shows is her and George Floyd hugging each other in hell. That's basically what the video I was supposed to play.
I bet they are.
It shows her and George Floyd hugging in hell, and truth be told, that's what it is. These people are trying to make her look good, but she was a horrible woman.
Yeah, she wasn't a good woman. I'm not gonna sit here and play around.
And the same way I wouldn't have compassion if a man tried to rape a woman and she took a high heel shoe, stuck it in some dog doo-doo, stuck it in his eye, and he got an eye infection and it rotted his brain, and he died and screamed in pain as he died. I wouldn't have compassion for him. I'm not going to have compassion for her.
I wouldn't. No. She didn't listen to direction. A lot of the times here too, these lesbian relationships, they have the highest amount of domestic violence. Don't Believe me, look it up. Ask Google. Google let you know. So I don't think that, she did the right thing, and I'm not going to sit here and play around just because she did, and I got to somehow say, what's nice and expedient for people to like me. No, I'm just going to see what it is. She wasn't really good. She wasn't. I don't know any good mothers who are doing what she's doing. All right, let's go ahead and move forward. Next one up, I need to speak to you guys about Ilhan Omar. Oh, yeah, diaper lady. Diaper lady.
Diaper lady, shoot.
She got a diaper on her head. Ilhan Omar. All right, she was recently, I believe she was on Capitol Hill, and she gave an opening statement on Minnesota ICE and what's going on. I want you guys to take a look at what she's saying here. And when it comes back, I want to speak to you guys about it. Here we go. Make sure you share. Help us out.
Thank you all for being here today. I want to thank Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal for co-hosting this field hearing to raise the alarm about Donald Trump's unlawful, aggressive, and authoritarian actions in the Twin Cities. I also want to thank my colleagues who came from across the country and testifiers for joining us here in Minnesota. What we are witnessing right now is unprecedented. There is no modern precedent for this level of federal overreach, violence, lawlessness carried out in the name of immigration enforcement. This is not routine enforcement. This is not about public safety. This is not even about immigration. This is about political retribution. The president said it himself this week. It is increasingly clear that the entire purpose of these actions is to provoke chaos and fear in order to justify invoking the Insurrection Act and expand the president's ability to rain terror upon American cities who do not vote for him. That is the context in which Renee Nicole Good occurred. This administration has unleashed primarily paramilitary force into our neighborhoods, terrorizing families, escalating enforcement, and now killing a U.S. citizen in our state. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Our office has received numerous reports of deeply questionable arrests, individuals detained without explanation, without warrants, without access to counsel, and in many cases without any discernible lawful basis at all. We have heard of agents pushing people because they look Latino or Somali, forcing them into car accidents where they smash windows, cut seatbelts, carry people away. Abandoned cars with broken windows have become a normal sight of daily life in the Twin Cities. Trump claims Operation Metro Surge is about targeting criminals. The reality is even more disturbing. They have deliberately blurred the lines between public safety threats, legal immigration, and U.S. citizens, creating an enforcement campaign so indiscriminate that citizens are being swept up, arrested, and carried away to detention facilities. In Minnesota, dozens of U.S. citizens have been taken into custody and released hours later. We have yet to see charges materialize because in nearly all instances, no federal charges are possible. Similarly, this administration has worked to reduce any semblance of due process, sending people out of state, specifically to prevent access to legal representation, separating them from their family, counsel, and open removal processes for refugees with no legitimate legal basis.
Wow.
This is the behavior of paramilitary force operating.
I'm going to stop it right here. The more I listen to her, the more brandy I have to pour. You know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. The more I listen to her, the more brandy I got to pour. Shoot. Brother, you heard what she's saying. She ain't saying nothing too nice. What do you think?
Nope.
Well, Jermaine, I found a video I was looking for.
Yeah. I want you to show it. That's fire.
Literally.
Fire. That's fire. Literally. They in hell kissing. Talk about a fire romance.
Well, I was laughing so hard when I saw that. But Jermaine, the reason why she's doing it because she doesn't fear anything. The Democrat Party runs Washington, D.C. The Democrat Party runs the House. Tell me why they have not removed her from every single committee.
They need to.
Right? Remove her from every single committee. Look what they did to George, the guy who the Republican out of New York. They ran him out there on a rail. They ran him out on a rail, and Republicans helped run him out. That's the difference between Republicans and Democrats. When Democrats do stuff crooked, wrong, underhanded, and sneaky, the Democrats say it's racism to remove them. Mm-hmm. When Republicans do something, you know what we do? We run our own out. Run our own out. And that's what we did. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
That's what we did. This guy, George, he's on the tip of my tongue. I know his guy's George Santos.
Yep, George Santos. Yep. Absolutely. You know, Ilhan Omar.
Omar's still there.
Yeah, she is in a whole heap of trouble right now. Ilhan Omar. The president is on her ass. On her ass, ladies and gentlemen. I kid you not. On my mama. The president is on her ass. I want to go ahead and show you guys this. All right. The House right now is investigating Ilhan Omar. And they're finding a lot about her. One of the things they have found out, this may make you guys sick. She's worth $30 million. Let me say this again. Yeah. 30 million. Now Trump says that she's worth 30 million and she's never worked a day in her life in the U.S. Think about that. You come here on a fraud. You say that you're married to your brother. Right? Yeah. A lot of these immigrants pull that scam. Yeah, they send their brother over, right? Mm-hmm. And they need to get their family member over. U.S. government doesn't do their job. And also in Somalia, gosh darn it, they don't have any records. You can say you can say you're Mickey Mouse. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can say you're Mickey Mouse and come up with a fake profile and they'll let you in. And that's what Ilhan Omar did with the diaper. She had a little diaper when she came in. Now she got a big diaper. Yeah, a little diaper, big diaper. So she's in here now, and she's running her lips. And she's never worked. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've had several jobs in my life. Several. I'm sure Jamal has had several jobs. Jamal, you've worked all your life, haven't you?
I've been working since I was 11 years old.
There you go.
I used to help do take mud for brick masonry, help taking bricks, busting bricks, cleaning up the job site because my mom was, when she remarried, that's what I was doing. I was picking stuff up. I'm talking like 8 years old sometimes, also going out helping doing stuff, because in the South, sometimes you guess what, when you got and picked your own watermelons and strawberries and stuff like that, and they say, hey, you can get a whole pail of strawberries for $2, but you gotta pick them all yourself. Like, mother sucker. But you gotta get 2 bushels and get him 1.
See, ladies and gentlemen, he been working all his life. I've been working since my black ass hopped out the womb. Yeah, since my black ass hopped out the womb, ladies and gentlemen, I've been working. I've been holding my mama's fufu stick, and cutting up goat meat. Yeah, you better believe it. Yeah, and when I got old enough to wipe the crust from my eyes, I was helping my father hold shingles on the roof. How many of y'all pack shingles on top of a roof? Yeah, imagine doing that as a kid. Them shingles are heavy. Hold on. Yeah. I'm helping my father carrying the shingles. I'm damn near dying. My heart jumping out my chest. Shoot. And this woman came over here and she ain't worked a day in her life.
Oh, she worked doing what, hustling people, being a Democrat.
Yeah, she worked that line and running them lips. I can tell you that. I want to go ahead here, ladies and gentlemen, and run this. And when it come back, I want to speak about it. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share.
Fox News alert, Ilhan Omar under investigation after racking up millions while she was in Congress. Senior national correspondent Kevin Cork has it. What's up, Kevin?
Good to see you, my friend. What's the old saying? Follow the money? Well, that's precisely what the House Oversight Committee is doing. They are probing squad member Ilhan Omar's skyrocketing family wealth, Jesse, especially in the wake of that $9 billion, some would argue $19 billion, Somali social services fraud scandal that exploded in her district in Minnesota. The Oversight Chair, James Comer, says his team's lawyers are exploring the extraordinary step of subpoenaing Omar's spouse over his curious business practices. Republicans want to know how the Somali-born Omar and her politically connected husband Tim Minette went from being nearly broke to being worth around $30 million in just a year, according to her 2024 disclosure form. According to Comer now, there are a lot of questions as to how her husband accumulated so much wealth over the past 2 years. It's not possible. It's not. And he's a money guy. Minette and his partner, Will Haler, back in 2022, formed an investment firm, Jesse, named Rose Lake Capital. They had $42 in their bank account at the time, but in a year, up to $25 million, according to Omar's filing. By the way, he also has a wine business that went from next to nothing to millions on its books. Not surprisingly, associates were so perplexed about the irregularities, they brought information and attention to the feds to, look into it. Now, for her part, the Congresswoman has repeatedly, and I say defiantly, denied any wrongdoing while being also careful to criticize the ongoing probe. But, sometimes they say, Jesse, the ones who yell the loudest have the most to hide.
Well, innocent until proven guilty. I'm sure everything was
I wish they would have brothers on TV that don't have to wear makeup, because this brother looked like he wearing a lot of makeup, But, ladies and gentlemen, you seen that? Ilhan Omar, $30 million. How did she get it? They're saying it's not possible. You seen them when she was broke, right? Let me go ahead and show you the picture when she was broke. I want to show you when she was broke and when she got money. Okay? For everybody who says money can't make you look good, you need to take that back.
Yeah, you can. Money make a lot of people look
Yeah,
good.
I'm telling you. Well, but money can make you look good, especially when you're ugly, like Ilhan Omar. I want you to see how ugly this woman look now. Look. This is before she had money. Yeah, look at her face, right? Look at that diaper. That's just a regular diaper. You get what I'm saying? That's like the Walmart brand diaper. That ain't Love's or anything, right? That ain't Pampers. That's Walmart brand. Okay? So that's Walmart brand diaper right there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I still have children, so I'm pretty familiar with diapers. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, on my mama, I'm pretty familiar with diapers right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Here's another picture of them being broke. Okay, this them being broke. Imagine.
Was this when she married to her brother?
This is right after. Yeah, I shared one with. Her being married to the brother, but the brother wasn't in the photo. Now, this is her being married to that white guy. You see how broke she is? Yeah, look at that diaper and that oversized dress. Yeah, it's not tailored. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it ain't tailored. Look at how this guy look. He looked like a creep. Now, let's see them when they have 30 million. Let me show you how they look when they have 30 million now. Bow, look at the way she's smiling. That $30 million smile right there. You know what I'm saying? Look at how he looks. He looked like he got a whole facial reconstruction. You know what I'm saying? Look how money make you glisten. You know what I'm saying? It make you glisten more than Diddy's baby oil. You know what I'm saying? Diddy got that baby oil that make you glisten. You know, I was listening to a podcast by the name of Vlad TV. He had a sex worker on there by the name of Sly Diggler. Yeah, he's a black guy with a big schlong. Yeah, and he used to say that Diddy used to watch him while he beat down his girl. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not talking about, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, yeah, in the bedroom. He was beating her down. Diddy would be in the back with his micro penis just going like, yeah, I kid you not.
There are a lot of men into that. There are a lot of men into
he was into being a cuckold. But besides all that, I'm getting away from the point here. Diddy was oiled up himself. Oh, my mama. He was oiled up himself. Diddy. So these folks are glistening more than Diddy. Brother, what do you think about this?
Ilhan Omar looks like any woman that went from rags to fraud.
Oh, my mama.
She from fraud to riches. Now, she got in. She used her Somali connections. They put her in there, and boom. Because she's liberal Democrat trash. Let's go on and tell the truth here. The woman is liberal Democrat trash. And being that she's liberal Democrat trash, they're going to do and put her up there. And so she was able to fraud the government and blaming evil white supremacy. I bet you $1. Not one nigga helped not one Negro helped her get that money she got. Them was all white folks. Them evil white folks. That's who helped her get all that money. And notice she's standing in front of that Kenyan flag. Them Kenyans probably wanted her to move from her flag because they can't stand Somalis. From what I am told, Africans hate Somalis.
Oh, we do.
They despise them. They don't know.
They're the cockroaches of Africa.
I love you very much, but do not blame one of them nasty Somalis to my house. I will disown you and her family, probably her daddy is probably her boyfriend. So no, I do nothing with them in my house. So nobody likes them.
Yep. You know, Somalians are the cockroaches of Africa. Yeah, you can get mad all you want. There are going to be people saying, Jermain, I can't believe you said, yeah, they're the cockroaches of Africa. If you know about cockroaches, you see how bad they are. They only come out when things are dirty. Yeah, that's Somalians for you. When you go walk past their place, you're like this. You know why? Because they're cooking that cat and that dog meat over there and that goat meat, and it don't smell good. It don't smell good at all. You can get mad at me all you want. But I tell the truth on here so that I don't get sued. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. All right? Yeah. So I got to tell the truth, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what it is. Now, I want to show you guys this. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share. Trump takes aim at Ilhan Omar. Oh, yeah. He does one of these. Hold on. He does one of these. Oh, yeah. He takes a shot at Ilhan Omar. I want you guys to take a look at this. All right? And when we come back, we shall discuss it. Here we go.
You have these massive ships being taken over by a Somalian small boat with a big weapon. Because if they hit the side of the ship can blow up. You talk about a blow up. Bad. We've seen some bad things happen. And the insurance companies, some of these ships cost more than $1 billion to build. And the insurance companies say, look, we'd rather give them money than take a chance on $1 billion insurance policy. But they don't have to worry about it because we hit them the same way we hit the people with the drugs in their boat. They don't know what the hell happened. But all of a sudden, there are no pirates at sea. Do you notice? We haven't had a boat taken in a little while. Came out of Somalia, really corrupt place. It's not a country. They don't have government. They don't have anything.
They don't have nothing.
I always hate to see this. Elon, Omar, she comes from Somalia, a backward country, probably the worst country. They say it's the worst country in the world if it's a country.
Is.
I don't even think it's a country. There's no organization, no anything. They don't have police. They don't have military. They don't have anything. They just have people running around killing each other and trying to pirate ships. But she'll come here, comes, and then she wants to tell us how to run our country. The Constitution says that I am entitled to this. I can't stand her. Terminated all taxpayer-funded benefits for illegal aliens and kicked 275,000 illegals off of Social Security. They were illegally getting Social Security. 275,000 people. I'm telling you, it's not that this is pleasurable, but if I were an elected president, this country was going to be destroyed quickly, very quickly. I think within a year, if you had Kamala or a Joe type. I mean, Joe was a disaster, but if you
Wow. So there you go. So President Trump, he made an impression, impersonated Ilhan Omar. And that's a lot of the issue here that a lot of people are taking with Ilhan Omar. Is that you come from a weak-ass country. You come from a country that's really not even a country. You know nothing about our country. You come here, and then all of a sudden you're telling us what to do. It makes folks upset. It really does. And then on top of that, the folks that come here with you, they don't assimilate. They're not very nice. And then you guys are doing fraud. My goodness gracious. It get to a point where you got to be honest with it. Black folks are now waking up, and I've seen them all over the net. And you know what black folks are saying? They don't give a crap about what's going on with the Somalians.
Nope.
So the Somalians ain't getting any help from the blacks. Blacks don't care. We have the Latino community trying to co-opt the Black American struggle. And they're trying to say that ICE is like KKK. What? Are you serious? ICE like KKK? But these are the fools who are pushing this. Don Lemon spoke with Ilhan Omar about Trump, and I want you guys to take a look at this. Make sure you share.
News about you being, quote, taken back to Somalia. And I know, look, that is go back to Africa.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
That kind of
We've
racist.
heard that, yeah.
Of course I've heard that. But
Yeah.
have you seen that moment that I spoke to the head of Somalia?
Yes. Well, it's kind of the irony of him saying he spoke to the head of Somalia when he continuously said Somalia does not have a leader. It's kind of actually hilarious. And then if anybody knows the head of Somalia, what the president says cannot be true.
Well, he says, I spoke to the head of Somalia, and the head of Somalia said, ask her to take her back, and he said, I don't want her. Do you laugh at that? So.
Yes.
Why?
Because I know the president of Somalia, and he wouldn't say anything like that. But also, I mean, why in the world would he take me back? I'm not some stateless person. I'm a citizen of the United States.
Right.
I'm a member of Congress.
Right.
So it would actually be really disrespectful for the president of Somalia to be yeah, sure, we'll take Ilhan back.
She needs somebody.
Wow. So you got two folks who are heavy in the news. Ilhan Omar and Don Lemon. Don Lemon, I mean, he's just weird guy. He's weird all around. And he's interviewing a witch. Brother, what do you think about this?
Well, here's the thing. They don't have nothing to fear because they know the Republicans are too worried about what the cameras will say about them. They're too worried about what the talk shows will say about them. They're too worried about the Sunday talk shows. That's the problem, Republican Party. They're scared to sit there and have them locked up. And they're too scared of what the Sunday shows will talk about them. Yeah. Democrats don't worry about the Sunday shows. Why is that? Because the Democrat Party already knows the Sunday show is going to back them up. The Republicans are still the midterms are in November. The Republican Party can start kicking butt, taking names, and calm it down around August and September. Where, oh my, Trump, stop! You're making people not vote for us, Trump. No! That's what they're doing now. They're terrified. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? Don't talk about them, Trump. Just be nice. Because that's what they do. And it's too many of them. The senator from my state, Tom ain't worth Tillis.
Yeah.
Tom ain't worth Tillis. He about as useful as tits on a bull. That's how good Tom Tillis is. And then we can't wait to get rid of him. And what gets me, and Jermain, just want to get off the highway, pull over on the side of the road just real quick to say this. These Republicans who retire or leaving, they show you they was never really about the Republican agenda.
Absolutely.
So when we behind the scenes,
Yeah.
When we're behind the scenes hearing Democrats say certain, you Republicans want to speak up, you tell us this, but you need to say it. You show us who it really is. Tom Tillis, we sent him to Washington, D.C. from North Carolina to stand up and fight and push the conservative agenda and hurt Democrats, but he went to start making friends with Democrats. So that's why Ilhan Omar is out there comfortable. That's why Don Lemon is walking around comfortable.
Yeah, look at Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, biggest disappointment. And then on top of that, she started talking about Republican men.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
like
I have remember I said I have an issue with most women? I don't make this stuff up. I don't. Right? I said, I don't like most women. It's not because somehow, I'm on that other side or anything. It's because of their character. Women nowadays, a lot of them, let me tell you something, they don't have good character. Get mad at me all you want. But I want you to think about it like this. Imagine you're growing up and every man that approaches you always tell you this. Oh, girl, you look so beautiful. Everything you do is never wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I want women to understand this is the way you grow up. When it comes to criticism, they don't criticize you very well. Right? Everything has to be soft. And when you grow up with a life where you're always being told you look good all the time, people are reserving criticism on you, you don't turn out very well. Right? I want women to think about it.
Nope.
Imagine if you were born in this country and every day of your life, people were telling you that your shit don't stink. That's most women. You're a princess. We call every little girl a princess. To the point now, when the women grow up, it's like you can't even criticize them. You can't correct them. You turn into an asshole. You turn into a B.I. You do. And that's most women. On my mama. Don't believe me? Go ahead and ask your husband. Ask your boyfriend. Ask your daddy. And you play back this. And they'll agree with me 100%. And I stand on it. That's why I don't like most of them, because they don't take criticism very well. And they live in delusion land.
Very delusion land.
So I'm just an honest guy about it. You get what I'm saying? And I tell men to be honest. Because the more honest you are, the better relationships we have with the women. And the more women you get. Yeah, the more nicer you are to women, the less women you get. It's kind of weird. Don't believe me? Ask the guys. Nice guys finish last. I'd love to be very nice. Yeah, ask my mama. I love to be very nice. But the nicer I am, let me tell you, the more I get taken advantage of by the other sex. Mm-hmm. So I stay where I am, and I like it. Now, let me go ahead and move forward. I put together a title for this show. And let me tell you something that's real nice. Yeah, the title of the show. Let me go ahead and read the title once more again. Who needs enemies when you can have a baby mama on my mama? I want folks to think about it. Yeah, the worst enemy you can have is a scorned woman. It is. Elon Musk baby mama, Ashley St. Clair. She's going after him. She's hopped on CNN and these other fake news outlets. And she's saying that Grok, his AI system, is a bad deal. I want to go ahead and run this when it come back. I want to go ahead and speak to you guys about it. And I want to know, why is she doing this? Is it because she can't get any more Elon penis? Is it because, some of that money is cut off? Or is it because Elon Musk want custody of his son? Because it seemed like Ashley St. Clair trying to turn his son trans. Maybe that's it. Let me go ahead and run it. When it come back, we shall discuss it. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure y'all share. And if you can, drop something in the bucket for us. Help us out. Here we go.
Tonight, the mother of one of Elon Musk's children is speaking out and sounding the alarm about his AI tool named Grok. Ashley St. Clair says Grok was used to create deep-fake sexual images of her, including photos of her as a child. And St. Clair is not the only one who is reporting these types of disturbing images. It's impacting hundreds of thousands of women worldwide after people started flooding Grok with requests to take photos of mostly everyday women and put them in bikinis or remove their clothing. Musk is now facing growing international pressure to respond. Grok was just blocked in Indonesia and Malaysia. The United Kingdom is threatening to ban the social media platform. California's Attorney General just announcing an investigation. So far, though, Musk is taking no responsibility, posting today that he's, quote, not aware of any naked underage images generated by Grok, literally zero. Ashley St. Clair is out front now. And Ashley, I really appreciate your taking the time to come on and talk about this, because this is crucial for women, yes, for children, for families around the world. So Musk says Grok generated zero naked underage images, but you say it undressed you in several photos, including one of when you were 14 years old?
That's correct. And what he said is deceptive at best, because while maybe there weren't actual nude images, it was pretty close to it. And the images that I saw, not only of myself, but of I don't even know whose children, who were undressed and covered in various fluids, the abuse was so widespread and so horrific, and it's still allowed to happen. They just released restrictions that are based on where it's illegal.
Okay, so Musk has promoted and touted what he's called Grok's spicy mode. Okay, one point he shared a post that said Grok can put it on everything, and it was a toaster. So that's, we can see the bikini on the toaster there. And his statement today, as I said, he said nothing about naked underage, that he hadn't seen that. And then he said, obviously Grok does not spontaneously generate images. It does so only according to user requests. When asked to generate images, it will refuse to produce anything illegal. What do you see between those lines, Ashley?
That's not what I saw at all. Images I saw do seem to be illegal, and even them coming out and now trying to place safeguards afterwards seems like an admission that they know that there has been an issue, that it has been creating non-consensual, sexually explicit images of women and children. He is saying that people are making this up, and meanwhile, Ireland is probing over 200 cases of child sexual abuse material produced by Grok.
200?
200.
And that's just
Ireland. And it's not only that, it's that he's placing the blame on the victims, so that if this happens to you, you have to go to your local law enforcement and take their resources and see if they can find this anonymous account instead of just turning the faucet off. This is what's wrong, because they're handing a loaded gun to these people,
Yes,
watching them shoot everyone, and then blaming them for pulling the trigger.
And I mean, what you're describing, I mean, I obviously haven't seen the images, but you're talking about images of children covered in fluids. I don't need to say anymore, but that's deeply disturbing, what you're describing, to even hear that. Now, look, you are choosing to speak out, okay, because you have a voice on this, because people can hear you, people listen to you, but you face backlash since you chose to do that. You were banned from Twitter Premium, right? So you say there's been some things that have happened to you in terms of that. You've had harassment, you've had attacks on X, right, the platform where Grok lives, or whatever the right word may be. Why is it so important to you, Ashley, to take this extra step, to put your face out here like you are now?
Because it's not just about me. It's about building systems and AI systems which can produce at scale and abuse women and children without repercussions. And there's really no consequences for what's happening right now. They are not taking any measures to stop this behavior at scale. They are saying, we're going to make it illegal where it's illegal. That is absent all morality. And guess what? If you have to add safety after harm, that is not safety at all. That is simply damage control, and that's what they're doing right now.
And also, I guess in this context, it is disturbing when you think about, the post that Elon Musk had originally put up about Grok can put a bikini on everything. Now, he was talking about a toaster, but sort of making light of all of it, given where it's gone. You would think it would be something you'd want to seize responsibility for. We're going to say, I'm outraged, we're going to stop this. That's not been the response.
They're not. And people need to start asking questions not only to X and Elon, but also to the investors. Because amidst this scandal, they raised $20 billion.
Wow.
While these women were in my DMs telling
right
me
here.
they feel hopeless, they are distressed, and they...
There you go. You got Ashley St. Clair. She looked like she should be on OnlyFans. On my mama. She looked like she should be on OnlyFans, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Selling breast photos or pics. What do you got to think about this? Ashley
Jermain.
St. Clair. She's coming out with the knives. She wants Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk, maybe if he go back out with her, maybe he can stop her. But I doubt it. Brother, what do you think about this? Why is she doing this?
50 Cent made a song, I get money, have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire.
Yeah.
I get money. Okay, simple and plain, that's all this is. CNN brought her up there for one reason, to attack President Trump and Elon. That's what she's up there for. All this talk that they do about CNN supposed to be truthful and in journalism, they're not. It's not.
Nope.
These sites, people like CNN just want to destroy President Trump and destroy Elon. Look, men is going to create naked women. That's who men are.
Yeah, I mean,
and these feminists, and I'm going to say it, these feminists need to get over it. For years, women have tried to change what a man wants and what a man sees. And I know women won't. Why does men have to always want to look at booty? And if you a butt man, why does she always want to look at breasts if you a breast man? That's how we're wired, we're men. And the women with feminist movement from the 1960s, goal was to change men from what we are. Notice, women didn't want men not to behave in a certain way while they got clothes on. They want to dress in the sluttiest, skankiest, shortest, tightest thing and not have men look, not have men gawk. Look at what she was dressed like.
Yeah,
yeah.
Look at the way she dressed.
Okay. Most men are going to gawk. Most men, if we got Grok, if I had Grok back in 1986, when I was 11 years old, I would have had all type of naked pictures of Daisy Duke.
Oh, of course.
I would have had all type of naked pictures of who else was out there? Oh God, Lana, the girls, the Threes Company girls. I would have took Brock and had all of them naked. I would have had the girl from
You probably would have had the Golden Girls naked too, wouldn't you?
Oh no, I won't that desperate. But I would have had the girls from Weird Science. From Weird Science, I would have definitely had her nude. That's what men do. Men like to look at women and they want to change that and take us feminists in their way, and it's not going to work.
Yeah, feminists are evil folks. They are. They are so evil, and their whole plan is to just be superior to men. That's it. You know, they'll do whatever. They can sit here and run a lie. Oh, we just want to be equals and this, that, and the third. You can never be equal.
Nope.
Physically, we can't. We have too many differences, and we need to celebrate and respect each other's differences rather than attacking. And this is what feminists do. They love to attack. Now, Ashley St. Clair, she's a baby mama. Okay, how come she didn't get married? Women nowadays, they don't like to get married to men because they feel like, and I've heard this from a lot of women, they feel like their parents and their grandparents and the women before them, they were suckers. They were suckers because they allow men to control them. So the new day and age, most women don't want to be married because they don't want to have to listen to a man.
Yep.
Point blank, period. Which is totally fine. But the men need to understand this and choose accordingly. The women find it more feasible and more advantageous to be a baby mama because they can control you. Gentlemen, yeah, women, I'm sorry for giving out this secret. My bad. My bad, women. My bad. There's good women out here who don't think like this, but the majority do. They think like this. You know, and I'm just an honest guy. Why can't I be honest, right? Yeah, it's more advantageous for women to be a baby mama because you get control of the child, right? Because without marriage, most states recognize the woman as the legal and sole custodial parent, right? Yeah, women, I'm sorry for giving this out. women over here hating me now, right? Yeah, I'm giving this out. And ain't that slick? Yeah, so you found out that it's more advantageous to do that. And while you can do that, right, you get full control over the children. You don't have to listen to a man. And on top of that, the federal government and the state government that is ran by liberal feminists and weak-ass men are going to force the man to give up chips, right? So he can't be in his life. And the men are regulated to being a Disneyland dad where you get your kid 2 days every other week. And that's how a lot of the women like it. Hey, I get to go screw off with other men. I get to control this other guy and take his money. And then on top of that, I get the child. And I get the all the praise of being a single mama, doing it all by myself. I'm doing it all by myself.
And you caused it yourself.
Right? Yeah, and she caused it by herself, right? Yeah. That's why men need to wake up. And women don't like a lot of these new podcasts because they speak like Big Daddy Jermain. Yeah, they speak like me. I go ahead and give up what's going on. The older men, the boomers, they didn't do it so much in your day and age. So the boomer guys, they just don't know really that much. You guys are getting scammed right now, the boomer guys. Right? The boomer men and women, you guys are getting scammed. You guys are getting hit with the scams now and you're falling for it. That's what happens when you get old. Right? But the newer generation, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get folks mad at me for that one. But the newer generation, they into that. They found out that, hey, the older women, you guys are suckers. That's what they believe. We want to work. We want to take control of our children. And we want to go on trips and screw different men all we want. And we don't want anybody to say anything about it. And that's Ashley St. Clair. So that's what it is. I'm hoping that Elon Musk is able to get control over his son.
And sue her.
Because what she's doing is absolutely wrong. And gentlemen, let me tell you something that most women ain't going to tell you. Another one. When a woman hates you, she hates you.
Hates you.
And she going to destroy your son as well. On my mama. Women know what I'm talking about. When once that emotion take a hold of her, she is gone in the wind. So choose wisely. Let's go on and move forward. I got some chicken frying. Yeah, they cooking me some fried chicken. I love fried chicken. I have the best recipe for fried chicken. The best. Yeah, anybody who tastes my fried chicken, let me look. Good. Let me tell you. I want to speak to you guys about Don Lemon.
Sweetie.
Soft Life Don Lemon. Yeah, he's part of that soft life. You know how the women say they want a soft life? I want a guy to pay for me. I want a guy to just do whatever I want, right? I want that soft life. That's Don Lemon. He want that soft life too. And Don Lemon, he's back in the news after an anti-ICE mob targeted a church, and he was there berating the pastor because he believed that the pastor had ties to ICE. I want you guys to take a look at this. Here we go.
The Department of Justice is investigating the anti-ICE protesters who disrupted services at a church in Minnesota over the weekend.
But the state's attorney general claims the demonstrators and journalist Don Lemon, who was with them, did not break the federal law the DOJ is accusing them of. Doug Lazater joins us live from Washington with all the details. Hi, Doug.
Carly and Todd, good morning. This was an extraordinary escalation of the protests in Minnesota, the storming of a church. Now, here's how this played out. As former CNN host Don Lemon joined with protesters who believed one of the pastors at a church in St. Paul had connections to ICE.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're here to worship Jesus. Yes. That's why we're here. Yeah. Okay, that's why we're here. Okay. That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a Christian?
No one is willing to talk.
Minnesota's attorney general says protesters who stormed that church did not violate what's called the Federal FACE Act, but the Justice Department may not see it that way.
what you saw there was anti-Christian, anti-law enforcement rioters storming a church in this country, and that's a violation of law, and we are absolutely investigating. Our civil rights unit has already sent experts out to Minneapolis today. The civil rights unit, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI, DHS is investigating this, because what you saw the fear in the eyes of the members of that church.
Now, Lemon, meantime, defended his actions, saying this in a statement: "It's notable that I've been cast as the face of a protest I was covering as a journalist, especially since I wasn't the only reporter there. That framing is telling. I stand by my reporting." Lemon has said that racism is a part of the ongoing immigration enforcement efforts. He has also said that some of his critics have a sense of entitlement based on white supremacy. Todd and Carl.
Yeah, the double down did not end there. Doug, thank you. For more on the double down from Don Lemon, let's bring in
right here.
Tony Perkins.
There you go. So you hear that, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it. Don Lemon believes racism and all sorts of other stuff here. Now, I want you guys to see here what Nicki Minaj said here, because Nicki Minaj put down a tweet here, and let me go ahead and transition. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share.
Don't transition, Jermaine.
Hey, you know what I'm talking about.
I had to do that.
All right, here we go. Let me transition. What? Gosh darn it! You got me saying. Let me switch the screen. Yeah, let me switch the screen. There you go. X, Nicki Minaj. You can see it right here, right? She got the check mark. Says Don cock-sucking Lemon is disgusting. How dare ya? I want that thug in jail. He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up. And then she went and put a doll that resembles him. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, you know how ugly Chucky is? Yeah, Don Lemon ugly as hell too. On my mama. I want to go ahead here. Yep, okay. So, yeah, Don Lemon. Now, before we move forward here, no, actually, I want to go ahead and run this, and then we'll end on this here. So let me go ahead and run this. Don on Nicki. Now, Don Lemon, ladies and gentlemen, replied to Nicki, and I want you guys to hear what she said.
Homophobic slur.
Now, we played a little bit yesterday, but I want you guys to take a look. Here we go. I'm going to switch the screen. Here we go.
Nicki Minaj and her response to all of this and the language that she used. I think it's interesting just because Nicki has been, over the last couple of months, made it clear that she is now publicly supporting, and I think maybe she has all along, but now publicly making known her support for the Trump administration and even the MAGA movement. The choice of words that she used to go after you, I'm not surprised she went after you.
It's homophobic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think you have to black it out. You should show it to people. She called me Don, C sucker Lemon is disgusting. Look, this is what I'll say to Nicki Minaj. I normally don't respond to things like this, but F it. I'm going to do it this time. I think Nicki Minaj has made it very clear how she feels about African Americans in this country. I don't think she's one of them, obviously. And she should, under Trump's rules, she should be deported, because I don't think, reportedly, that she is a legal citizen here. She is undocumented. And so she has shown her disdain for African Americans. So why are you supporting her? Why are you buying her records? She's also supporting, I have lots of gay friends who love Nicki Minaj. Why are you supporting this homophobic, bigoted, ignorant woman? You should not be supporting her. Nicki Minaj, this is clearly out of her depth. She doesn't understand politics. She doesn't understand journalism. And I'm not surprised that she is weighing in on something that is beyond her capacity. What I will say to her is, because she put a doll, I think she put the Chucky doll in there, a better symbol that should have been represented in that picture is a pick-me doll, because Nicki Minaj is a pick-me. She will do anything that is expedient for her politically. And again, she's ignorant. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's always weighing in on things that she doesn't know about. Nicki Minaj should just sit the fuck down. And by the way, isn't she married to an alleged pedophile? And she has the nerve to say something disparaging about and something homophobic. I'm pretty sure that maybe that's part of the reason that she is cozying up to the Trump administration for some sort of leniency for her family members. And it's just very transparent. So Nicki Minaj, F off, stop being a homophobic bigot, and, get a life and some brains.
Bow. Get a life and some brains. There you go. So that's Don, who sucks on white cock lemon. Now, Don Lemon, he never said that it was a lie. You get what I'm saying? But let's stick to the facts here. You get what I'm saying? Don Lemon is, I think he married to a white man. One of the whitest men on earth. Absolutely. And Don Lemon, I'm pretty sure he sucks on cock. I don't give a fuck. Excuse me. I don't care who get mad. Brother, what do you think about this here? First of all, did Nicki Minaj lie? She said Don Lemon suck on cock. I mean, was that a lie?
Jermain, I find it funny. To quote Dr. Umar Johnson, Umar Johnson said you can't talk black and sleep white.
Yeah.
That's what Dr. Umar Johnson
Prince
said.
of Pepper Steak. Yeah.
Oh, yes. But I got one. You can't talk black and suck on white cock.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't suck off the white supremacy. What, he fighting white supremacy by sucking it off? Is that what he doing? Let's tell the truth here now. That's all he doing. I guess he's striking a blow against white supremacy by bending over, grabbing his ankles, and
he is
with Vaseline. Oh, so that's how he fights white supremacy. He fights white supremacy by going in every night and grabbing his ankles. That's how he fights it. He's a joke. He lost his job because he's a radical. CNN fired him because he was a pathetic piece of trash.
Yeah.
Nobody blacks take Don Lemon serious because he's talking about Nicki Minaj. Black folk remember when he said, pull your pants up. A lot of black people who, especially these, the black victimhood, remember when he said, pull your pants up.
Yep.
They remember when he was sitting down with Bill O'Reilly saying Bill O'Reilly was right, saying the black community was trash field. I remember when Tariq Nasheed gave him the Coon Train Award.
Oh, yeah.
Coon Train is coming. Woo-hoo. What about
man?
Black
that was a nice award. I'm trying to win that award.
I was too. I'm still trying.
Yeah.
But so to hear Don Lemon say all this stuff about Nicki Minaj because she called him out, rightfully so, he's mad because he wants to be a woman. He's not.
Yeah.
He calls himself a Christian. He's not. So that's just Don Lemon being Don.
Don Lemon being Don. Let me tell you, that's a fantastic statement. Don Lemon being Don. Don Lemon, let me tell you, he pulled Nicki Minaj's black card, said she wasn't black, called her a homophobe. But one thing he can't call her is a liar. I can tell you that.
He can't.
No. You see that he didn't refute what she said. All he said was, that's nasty. Right? Yeah, but you do it. You do it, Don. Yeah, don't tell me you never did it, Don. Because I ain't going to believe it. So Don, that's what he does. And then on top of that, You know that he would never go and do this to a Muslim church. He would never go do it to a Jewish synagogue. He would never do this type of stuff.
He wouldn't do it to a black church either.
Absolutely.
But
But he
you
would
know
go
what
and do
happened?
it to
You
a
go to
white
Crenshaw
church
Baptist
because
Church.
he hates Christianity and he hates white people. And I want folks to understand that. He's a very evil man. Very evil man. He reminds me of Jussie Smollett. When Jussie Smollett was running that lie where he said 2 white men in MAGA hats beat him up and put him in the noose. Remember that? And instead of him to take off the noose, he walked all the way. Catch it. He walked all the way to the police station with the noose on his neck because he said that he wanted the police to see the noose on his neck and he wanted to preserve the evidence. I want folks to understand this is what Don Lemon said. He's crazy. He made up a lie. Come to find out, it was his Nigerian friend. Probably a Nigerian lover. 2 big-ass Nigerian guys.
One of them was a Nigerian lover. That's what one of them said.
Shoot. So let's be honest about it. I don't believe him. I don't. And what he says should be taken with a grain of salt. It should be. It seems like anytime you criticize black liberals, they want to pull your black card. All of a sudden, you're not black. And now, if you're black and gay, you can call the black person a homophobe. Sorry, doesn't work.
Nope.
Let's go ahead and move forward. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, last one for tonight. Oh, yeah. It's been fire. It's been fire. Haven't I told you? Yeah. I want to speak to you about Michael Obama. Now, in this day and age, 2026, I ain't gonna play around with nobody. Michelle Obama is a man. And Barack Obama is gay. We're not gonna play around. It's 2026. Barack Obama, when he got into office, he did more for gays than the American citizen. I want folks to understand that. There was a man who came out and said that he had sexual intercourse with Barack Obama.
Yep.
Barack Obama, in his memoir, wrote that he had fantasies of having sex with one of his professors. Ow! I don't make this stuff up.
He's a homo.
And Michelle Obama, I knew something was wrong with Michelle Obama when I looked at Michelle Obama. Big ass hands, shoulders like a lion. She got big ass shoulders. Hands like this. And that's a woman? I back in that day when he first ran, I was tricked. And I'll be the first one to say it. I was tricked. But with all the freaky stuff that been coming out, I ain't tricked no more. Michelle Obama's in the news and she has given the internet something to talk about. She says that black folks should be supporting black designers, not white ones. Take a look.
If I hear of someone whose fashion that I like and I know that they're a person of color, I try to make it a point. But the clothes have to be available. If I hear of someone whose fashion that I like and I know that they're a person of color, I try to make it a point. But the clothes have to be available. You know, I think we can all do some work to think about that balance in our wardrobes.
Look at them legs.
You know, what does our closet look like, and who's in it? Who
Look
are
at-
we
look at the
supporting
shoulders,
in it?
look at the
You know,
forearm.
and I think if you have the
That's
money
a
to buy
big
Chanel,
man.
then you have the money to buy everybody.
Right.
And so
And
let
the
us
ugly
be
one at
mindful.
that.
I think would be my advice.
Yeah.
She's a
But you know, and I ain't gonna lie. If Michelle Obama was a woman, she'd be an ugly woman. Yeah, I've seen a lot of good-looking black women, and Michelle Obama ain't one of them. You can get mad at me all you want. I know black folks gonna get mad. Yeah, Michelle Obama looked like a man, and if that man wasn't a man, that's an ugly ass woman. Brother, what do you think about this?
Everybody knew she was an ugly man. Everybody knows she an ugly man, period. Everybody know that. Michelle Obama is downright hideous. She's always been ashamed of America. She was elected 8 years to the first lady. And she still ain't happy. She's a typical ghetto liberal black woman. Ain't never happy about nothing. No matter what you do, she still ain't happy.
There you go. She will never be happy.
Never.
And on top of her being trans, she will always bash white folks, and she will always bash Christianity in this nation. All right. Remember when Barack Obama and Michelle Obama said, "This is the first time I'm proud of this nation." You remember that, Jamal?
Yep. And people should have called her out then.
Yep, they should have called her out then. But I'll call him out, my bad, then. But ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of the show. 2 hours of flames and fury. Fire! And fire! So hopefully you enjoyed the show. All right, I'll be on tomorrow night. We're going to try to be in here 7 p.m. All right. I was on last night a little bit later because I had to go to my son's basketball game. He plays for what is it called? A private school. So a Catholic private school in New Prague. So shout out to my son. He's a good baller. Let me tell you, he got his daddy's talents. So I want to make sure that boy go far. So I was there watching him, being supportive. Came back, ran my mouth for a good hour and a half. And now I'm back here running my mouth for a good 2 hours. And tomorrow I'll be on again 7 p.m. Central. We're going to try to get in the studio a little bit early. And we're going to run a very good show. So make sure you guys come in and hang out with us, all right? I want to go ahead and thank everybody who hit that like button and everybody who donated. It was muchly appreciated. We certainly love you. Brother, any last words for our beautiful crowd here?
Well, of course, Lord willing, live and see it. We're going to have a show tomorrow. It's a bunch of stuff we got to talk about. I've been so busy, everybody. People like Jamal, you just posted Sunday Talk with Jamal on Sunday morning Thai Talk tonight. I just been busy, y'all, really busy because as a maintenance man, we got to do a lot of work putting ice out. If you haven't donated tonight, hope y'all like the show. Donate. You don't have to donate $30, $40, $50. $3, $4. If 6 people donate $3, if 7 people donate $2, it's not about the amount sometimes. It's just if more people who do it, the more you have to worry about.
Oh, yeah.
So please donate to the page, hit that like and share, and Lord willing, we live and see it. We'll see you next week.
Absolutely. And before I go, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to the beautiful beautiful Kristen Walker. Kristen Walker, beautiful woman out of Minnesota. All right, Minneapolis, Minnesota. I
Did
just
you get your
seen it
bet,
sometimes.
Spillman?
Now I know when folks donate because the ticker go. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Did you get your vet, Spillman? Because I think she gave you a super chat.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Rumble.
Yeah. Actually, thank you. Yvette Romick Spillman gave us a super chat on what is it called, on Rumble. I thought I said it. My bad. Maybe I forgot. I thought I called her out. My bad. But Yvette, thank you. If I did, I don't remember if I did or not, but I thought I did. But once more again, thank you so much. Shout out to Kristen Walker, beautiful woman. Let me go ahead and give you guys a testimony. Absolutely. Thank you so much. All right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. It is 11:30, about to be midnight. It's close to negative 20 here in Minneapolis in Minnesota. Okay, it's negative all over in Minnesota, especially in the area I'm in. All right,
Negative.
It is very, very, very cold. I'm in the country, so that wind hitting very hard, and it's cold. So pray for a brother. All right. You guys take care. Love ya, and we'll catch you later with another edition of Double Barrel J's Wednesdays. All right, you guys take care. Love ya, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. Peace.